Hello, everybody. Good evening to you. Whew, a little bit chilly here. So, okay. So I see people here, but I don't see anything in the chat. Oh, there we go. It's on. It's on. I was like, where's everybody? Because I know you guys are talkative. Good evening to you. Hey, Alicia, Dave, how are you? The houses are too far apart. Yeah, I'm in a very small town. Some years I get people, sometimes I don't. But hey, Mother Earth Garden Club, good evening. Oh, I hear you. You know what? I've been trying to get into semi-retirement here, and yeah, it's like I'm busier than ever with work. But in one way, I'm not complaining, but another way would be nice to just back off a bit. Um, Huffman House, hello, good evening to you. Kiri, hello, how are you doing? Yes, you're chitty chatty. Wonderful, wonderful. So it is actually a very balmy evening here. So I'm sure any kids that are out would be. Yes, there's still a number that come out around this rural area, but again, there's so many farms that it's hard for kids to actually make it out. I do have my lights off. It's 57 degrees right now. What do you think about that? We had about 65 today, I think. And again, it gets down to freezing at night. So, yeah, I hear you, Kiri. Yep. So yeah, kids aren't going to want to just like hit one and then have to drive 15 or 20 minutes to hit another person, and then just so around here, especially in the towns, they'll have like the mall will open up, or the downtown area or something. It's like for, like, say from 4 to 6 or something, the businesses will be available so you can go trick or treating, so they'll do things like that. So I think they tend to go to those areas more than you know than to actually to people's homes and stuff like that. But you should have frosted by now. Is that what you're saying, Dave? Yeah, we had good hard frosty in this morning. But yeah, right, Carrie. Yeah. So that's, it's so much easier. So the kids can be done, in a half hour. They just get done and they've filled up a bag or whatever it is. So, hey, Patty, how are you tonight? Your pink hearts. You are a psych nurse, now full-time gardener. Oh, that's a good transition, though, is to from nurse to gardener, though. That's great. Grammy Karen, hello. Good Evernon. I like that. So, yeah, we have had, like I said, hard frost, but very mild days. I mean, I haven't really paid attention to like the records, but typically for this time of year, our highs are in the 40s to 50 to low 50s at the most. So I would say, yeah, 40s to 50s. And we have been in the 60s, even hitting 70. And it's like tomorrow it should be about 70 again, I think. And which is really unusual. So that puts us at about 20 degrees above normal for our highs. And I don't know. They're saying during the winter we're going to be way below normal. So I think it's going to be a major wake up call for a lot of people here in the 50s day and night this week. So it's wet. That means you're getting rain. Oh, that would be good. because I know you guys have been in a drought. So, so you guys, do you guys not hear me or see me? The chat was fine. Okay, fixed now. Your video never started. Oh, yeah, I've been going for 5.5 minutes. Okay, so hopefully it's working okay for you guys now. Oh, good, good, good. Yeah, I meant to check with you guys and everything because I got an upgrade in my internet last week on Friday, and so it's created some problems with some other things. Like all of a sudden, I can't use my printer because it's a wireless printer, and it's like now it's reading a different network, and I can't find where I'm supposed to connect with it. So it's like can't use my printer. Also, I have Chromecast on my TV, which I like to watch YouTube videos on that, and it's not reading that. And I mean, there's just like a lot of things that's just locking me out of, and I can't find the connection. So I can get my laptop, my phone, and my iPad, and that's it. But so I'm just gonna have to call them back. I meant to do that today, and I just didn't get to it. But um, oh, you never got notified? Oh, hmm. Well, I'm glad the rest of you can. That's yeah. It's October 31st. Notifications probably aren't going to go out. too too many YouTube employees out trick or treating, right? When you visited a friend who was giving out treats at the visitor center, she got busy. Oh, that was nice. Good name. That was so sweet, Carrie. Yeah. It's nice to be at a place where it's like you see a need, you just fill in, and it's like without, you know, determining anything. So that's good. Um, right. Exactly, Patty. You were able to pick about 25 pounds of green tomatoes, made them into pickles. Oh, good for you. I actually canned today. I canned a bunch of meat. So I found a sale on roast, buy one, get one free. That's a pretty good sale. In fact, that's kind of part of my prep tip tonight. So I did roast beef, I did chicken, and I did 1 jar of meatballs. So we'll see how that works out. Um, Joseph is small dial-up phone. That's good, Patty. That's good. I like that. That's great. Um, yes, my prep tip before we get started into everything else is to make sure you check your pantry shelves and just check to see what you might be short on, and then look for the sales. Go through if you get the paper or something for sales or an online notice or anything like that, whether it's from Aldi or Azure Standard or Walmart or wherever you shop. Just see if you can find anything. I don't know if any of you are familiar with Cub Foods. We have them all over the north here. Anyway, I went in today for some other stuff and I was like, well, let me just check out the meat because I knew I wanted to get some. And that's where they had the sale on beef. And I was like, oh, yeah. And I think there was even the chicken was reduced a little bit. But yeah, look for sales. Kind of know what your regular price is. If it's like regularly $4.99 a pound and you see it for $2.99 a pound, it's like go for it, that type of thing. So your kids went out as a cat, Ninja Turtle, and a pumpkin. Oh, there you go. That's cute. Oh, Mother Earth. That was at Cub Foods, was where I found the sale in up in Alexandria. So Michigan Daffodil, hello. 57 now. It's going to be in the 60s. Yep. So, anyway, one of the reasons that I had my eye out for that, because normally I wouldn't, because I that's a lot of meat that I would, I would normally put in a crock pot or something and have shredded beef and all that kind of stuff. But and right now I don't really have room in my freezer for storing extra meat. But when I was looking, what was I making this last week? Um, Beef bourguignon and something else. So yeah, I made some beef, but I needed beef broth. And I was like, oh yeah, I've got jars of beef broth. And I went to downstairs to my shelves and I was looking and looking and looking. It's like, no, I got turkey broth, I have chicken broth, and I have mushroom broth. And I was like, I don't have any beef broth. So I was like, some of these things that you think that you have, but all of a sudden you go to look for it and it's like, it's not there. And so I was like, I need to make some more broth. But in the meantime, as I was looking for the broth, I noticed that my shelves of canned meat were getting a little bit slim. And so I was like, I better start doing some more with that and, cooking up some more and canning up some more. So that's where it's like I came across a sale and I was like, oh, perfect. So I just did a canner load right now and just took them out like 5 minutes before it started here. um, you said so you first ever local half hog very soon. Good for you. It is a lot to pay at once. Yes. Okay. I know groceries are getting in exactly. And it's like when you think that, that $5 or $6 a pound for just regular beef is a deal. There's something wrong there. Um, I don't know groceries. It's just like, and I haven't shopped in Cub for quite a while, and they tend to be a little bit higher anyway. But so I was looking, obviously for the sales, and is I don't know it. Every time we go to the store, it's more and more expensive. Like even just a can of what was I looking at the other day? A can of soup or a can of olives or something, black olives. All of a sudden, I mean, there was one brand that was like they wanted $3.50 for a can, and I used to get them for 89 cents or $1.25 or something, and it's like, what in the world? It's like it's hard to actually cook decent meals sometimes with the prices of things. It's Yes, groceries are getting very, very high. But so, yes, so if you can find deals like that, and I need to go to Aldi and check them out more because I know that they've got really good food and their prices are lower. But um, I tend to not really want to go from store to store to store, make 5 different stops for all that. I just want to just like go to one store and just get everything I can. But that's just me. I'm getting a little behind here. Uh, Kira, you said you shop at Lowe's grocery store. Okay, it's confusing. Okay. Um, canned potatoes, lots of chicken and apples last week. Very good. You got a great deal on boneless. Get $1.50 a pound. Oh my goodness, that is great. Yes, that is excellent. What was I finding today that was a dollar? I'm trying to remember what I got that was $1.99 a pound. Or was I thinking about it? I can't remember, but that is a good deal now. That is a really good deal. Oh, you can hear the train? I just tune it out so much all the time. I mean, I've got all the windows closed too, and so you can still hear it. But yeah, that is a great deal. Walmart has turkeys. Oh, there we go. Even if yeah, even if you don't want to have the turkey for Thanksgiving, or get an extra one or something, get it and can it up if you're able to. So it was a flash sale. Oh my goodness. You hit the store at the right time, Michigan Daffodil. Um, yes, Mother Earth, exactly. It's very, very hard, and definitely. Um, and we don't know when we're going to hit the ceiling of the inflation either. So being prepared and having things available as you can get them is going to help. At least I've got things I can fall back on, but things that I've canned up and whatever's in the freezer and everything, but it's still, that only lasts so long. And, you just don't know when things are going to get really, really tough. So, Jay, we haven't started yet. So, so the chicken, Graybeard retired has really changed our habits. Yes, it does. Chicken was 40 pounds, boxes. Oh my goodness. Well, there you go. What store was it? Was that just a local store, Michigan Daffodil, or was it a big chain? Um, so you guys, no, that's great. So anyway, check your pantry, check your pantry shelves, see what you're short on, find sales, and can them up. So that's my prep tip for tonight. Um, all right, so we are going to talk pumpkins tonight for Halloween and everything. I'm not really one to get into Halloween anymore. So, the kids are gone and it's just me. So it's like a local store. Okay. Very cool. Very, very cool. So, we all know that pumpkins are kind of a symbol of autumn, of harvest and things like that. So you prefer squash except for pumpkin pies. Yep. You know how many stores are taking advantage of the food? Well, that's a very possible thing, Jay. That's absolutely possible. Um, so did you know that National Pumpkin Day is October 26th? So we just had that 5 days ago, but that's National Pumpkin Day. I have no idea that there was a National Pumpkin Day, but that's what it is. It's a holiday designed to give thanks to this popular fruit native to North America. Um, so there's going to be a little bit of like kind of trivia type of things, plus a bunch of other information. So you love the look of pumpkins for fall decor. Yep. You found 4 pumpkins sitting on the ground next to a trash can. Well, yeah, goats they love them. Absolutely. I love how you guys all bring different perspectives. It's like, oh, I love them to feed my goats or for decoration or to blow them up. It's like so cool. Oh, you guys are funny. So, okay. Actually, the word pumpkin originates from a word that's peopon, which is Peopon. Peopon is one word. And which means large melon in Greek. So that was a Greek word, peopon. It means large melon. It then evolved to pompon in French and pompion in Britain. In Britain, so the Americans later changed it to pumpkin, and that's the name that has stuck. Um, yeah, Mother Earth, I'm kind of that way too. Is like it gets over the top, pumpkin flavor everything. It's like, oh, please no. Fantastic compost, greens chopped with that. Oh, there you go. Um, so that's how we get the word pumpkin. So every year, the US produces 1.5 billion pounds of pumpkin. 80% of the crop, around 800 million pumpkins or so, are ripe for picking in one single month. One single month. They have over 45 different varieties of pumpkins. I was going to have my seed catalog here and show you more pictures and stuff. Give you visuals. It was going to be a show and tell visual thing, but I do have this for a visual. Little pumpkin. I got this at the store today. It was $1.50 for this little thing. What was it? It was on sale. It's either $1.50 or $2. I couldn't remember. But it was like, oh my goodness. I mean, this is just decoration only. Can't eat it. Well, I mean, I suppose I could, but there's nothing much to it. I could probably cook it up. I don't know how it would taste. But anyway, pumpkin time. Here's the pumpkin. Oh, look, the orange and the blue. What do you think? So anyway, you guys, oh, thanks so much. So yes, over 45 varieties, and they range in color from orange and red, yellow and green. And some of the names are like hooligan, cotton candy, orange smoothie, baby sugar type of things. So did you know every single part of a pumpkin is edible? Every single part. The skin, the leaves on them. A lot of them, they'll take and deep fry the leaves. So they're actually nutritious too. So the leaves, flowers. No, not the leaves. They don't deep fry the leaves. Deep fry the flowers. That's what it was. Sorry. Jumping ahead there. So an orange smoothie. I didn't think the leaves would be edible, but they are. So the pulp in here, the slimy stuff, it's edible. Give it to your goats. Give it to your goats. So the seeds, of course, and the stems. I mean, I don't know how you would eat the stems because they're so hard, or why you would want to eat them. But if you're ever out in the wilderness and lost or whatever, and you're hungry and you come across pumpkins, it'll keep you for a long time. You can eat the whole thing. So just for animals, yep. I know. It'd have to be, I don't know. It's like eating a branch, you know? Oh, that's an idea, Dave. Make tea with the stem. So pumpkins are 92% water. Do you know that? That's why it's important to water them throughout the year, because as they're growing, they're 92% water. So you can't just like stick them out in a field and just expect them to be all wonderful and everything. So, hi, Patty. How are you? Just sat down to eat. Oh, well, we're talking pumpkins today. So if you just sat down, maybe you can have some pumpkin pie. I'm sure Mac would love that. Pumpkins are an excellent source of potassium, vitamin A, and beta carotene. Scientists believe that pumpkins originated in North America about 9,000 years ago. The oldest pumpkin seeds have been found in Mexico and date back to somewhere between 7,000 and 550 BC, or 5,550 BC. So pumpkins are a great source of pie. I love that. Now, Jeff, I'm just going to call you JFM. Okay. Yeah, that would be actually Mr. Potato Head faces on there that you don't have to carve it, just stick them in there. That would be good. Pumpkins historically were an important food staple among Native Americans, and we'll get into that more. Um, they were the ones that started the Three Sisters method. Um, they would grow the squash along riverbanks next to the maize, which is like a form of corn, and beans. And so the three crops would sustain each other. The corn served as the trellis, with it the beans could climb up, and the beans were nourished by the sunlight and kept the corn stalks stable on windy days. And pumpkins sheltered the corn's shallow roots and prevented weeds from taking hold. So that's kind of what the Three Sisters is for that. So you have your squash or pumpkins and beans and corn. I think you can find on stems used for crafts. Oh, that would be interesting. So the pumpkins are native to Central America and Mexico. Originally, they were small and bitter, which is probably more what this is going to be. This would be really bitter. They were selectively bred by Central and Native Americans to be bigger, fleshier, and sweeter. So they actually developed that over the years. Glue craft. Oh, there you go. When the Pilgrims relocated to North America, they didn't know how to cook this gourd. It's like, because it was all new to them. They didn't have anything like this over in Europe. And so the Native Americans taught them how to cultivate and cook fresh pumpkin. So as a staple crop, the pumpkin was most likely served at the first Thanksgiving. But their version of pumpkin pie was quite different from ours. Without butter or flour for crust, they hollowed out the pumpkin, hollowed it out, we're all familiar with that, filled it with a combination of milk, honey, and spices before baking it in the ash of the fire. So I just took that pumpkin and just put it in the fire with all kinds of good stuff in there and cooked it. And it's like roasting it. It really would be. And cooking the flesh and having all that done. And so it'd almost be like a pumpkin custard once it got done. That doesn't sound too bad. So during World War II, many Americans grew victory gardens, as we've talked about, to supplement their grocery rations. Pennsylvania's The Victory Garden Handbook from 1944 recommended growing and eating pumpkins for their nutritional value. That's true, Patty. It does sound simpler than pie. It's like, okay, let's just carve it in, dump everything in there, stick it in the fire. That'd be a lot easier, wouldn't it? Your mom makes a pumpkin custard. Oh, that does sound really good. So yes, because my information is from different sources, I might be kind of bouncing back and forth a little bit because I've got 8 pages of stuff. But so you'll have to bear with me, but it'll just keep it interesting, right? Some might be redundant a little bit, but it's more for you. Yes. Maybe tomorrow your hubby loves pumpkin pies. Yes. You could make pumpkin tarts. You could make little, like in muffin pans, you could put little things of crust in there and fill it with pumpkin stuff. So you have your own little itty bitty pies. You could make a nice big pie. You could make, there's just so many things to do with it. Yes, it does sound really, really good. They get full-size candy bars. So it's surprising Michigan daffodil that you only get 6, because that kind of, you'd think they would tell everybody and be like, oh, go there, you get a full-size candy bar. But I know, pumpkin coffee. I'm not even a coffee drinker, and that doesn't sound good to me. Use the dry stem to glue onto a pumpkin made of velvet or lace that's stuffed. Okay, there you go. Yes, Alicia, we've already talked about it. We are having our usual family Thanksgiving, and we'll be minus 4 people, but it'll be um, it'll be a good time. So it makes the time that we have together all that much sweeter. It's but thank you for asking. That was very sweet of you. I would hit your house all night long. I didn't even buy any candy because I was like, I knew it was going to be on here tonight, and if I don't have my front light on and stuff, they just don't even bother to stop. So that's kind of the indicator that because it's already dark, if your lights on at the house, um, on the front, then it's like, ooh, they'll have candy. But if it's dark, you don't even try. Um, so if I do hear you knocking at the door, I have to run, I think. Um, okay, so the pumpkins when they get carved, a name that we gave them was jack-o'-lanterns, and actually the first ones weren't even made from pumpkins at all. This is a folk tale now too, and so but I came across it from several sources. So we'll see how how solid that folk tale is, right? But it said that the first ones were actually made from turnips, and in Ireland. So a folk tale said that stingy Jack tried to trick the devil into paying for his bar tab. After Jack died, the devil wouldn't let Jack cross over to the afterlife. Instead, he had to wander the earth at night, lit by a single coal. He put his coal in a hollowed out turnip and earned the name Jack of the Lantern. This Irish tale led to the tradition of carving turnips in Jack's likeness to keep him at bay. So, we don't want him wandering around over here. Um, a STEM recipe. That's great. Um, when Irish immigrants moved to America, they found pumpkins much more suitable for carving than turnips, and the modern jack-o'-lantern was born. I would think so too, because turnips are very hard, and they don't sit nicely. It's like some these are cute, right? So anyway, so that's just a little bit of information on the history of pumpkins. Now, pumpkins, we're going to talk about like pumpkins versus squash, because we always say that, well, pumpkins is squash. It's of the squash family. Yes, it is. It's of the same um, genus and the same family, but it is different. So, pumpkin is a fruit of the genus Cucurbita with a hard and jagged stem. So the stem is very hard and jagged, while squash is a fruit of the same genus with a less firm and hollow stem. So it comes down to the stem. Go figure, right? Um, and so, yeah, a stem recipe. The door is open so you could see the herd outside. The turnip would not be very big. That is true. That's very, very true. Cucumbers versus pumpkins. Yes. So both of them are of the family. Probably won't say this right, but Cucurbitaceae. Cucurbitaceae. I want to do like a little dance or something. Okay. So, a pumpkin is an orange or yellow fruit that is popular worldwide due to its hundreds of culinary uses. It's a delicious autumn fruit that is extremely nutritious. These are not vegetables, they're fruit, okay? Because they grow from a flower. Did you know that? So a vegetable doesn't grow from a flower, but a fruit does. That's why a tomato is a fruit. Apples, of course, are fruit. Squash and pumpkins grow from a flower and they're fruit. So that's kind of something new to learn. Um, so pumpkin, again, the flesh, seeds, leaves, and everything are all edible. The seeds are an excellent. So, hi Connie, how are you? Sorry, didn't see it come in. Um, Seeds are an excellent source of fatty acids, and they render energy necessary for body metabolism and muscle contractions. And they're low in calories. Pumpkin is also an extremely versatile fruit. It can be cooked in both sweet and savory dishes. Farmers all over the world, again, grow different varieties. There are many varieties across the globe now. So they grow everywhere except in Antarctica. So where it used to start out in Central America or Mexico, and then it was a North American fruit, it's now all over the world. So we started something good, right? You hear about roasted pumpkin seeds. Yes. Those are very, very good. And they're highly nutritious too. So if you're cleaning out a pumpkin, you know, wash the seeds up, save them, roast them. All you have to do is like toss them in a little bit of oil and salt and stuff like that, and then just lay them on a cookie sheet in the oven and roast them. And they come out crispy and it's very, very good. That's true, Jay. Very, very true. So there are pie pumpkins, miniature pumpkins like this, white pumpkins, and giant pumpkins. In the United States, excuse me, in the United States, many pumpkin varieties are canned and sold. They are, of course, cooked into delicious pies for in Canada and the United States. So that's kind of about pumpkin. They have, again, a hard, solid, very kind of spiky stem. Okay. So then we have squash. Squash has a light, hollow stem. Okay, so it's a kind of a cool thing to learn, right? So a squash would have a light and hollow stem when compared to the pumpkin. And there are different winter and summer squashes, of course, such as butternut, acorn, delicata, Hubbard, kabocha, spaghetti squashes, and zucchini. Most varieties of squash have bright colors. They taste both mild or savory. Therefore, they are used both as fruits and vegetables. So even though they are a fruit, they're used as both a fruit and a vegetable. Exactly, Patty. Yep. So that is very, very true. A whole part of carving for Halloween. Okay, here's the leftovers. You know what, Mother Earth? I did not come across that, so I don't know if anybody else knows that. That's a good point. Is it true that pumpkin seeds are a natural parasite preventer in animals? I do not know that. 3 pumpkin sluts. That would be Dave, yeah. You once bought a giant pumpkin for a friend who decorated her yard. She lived out on the highway, told her she had to give the pumpkin. Oh, there you go. Yes, the small medium is actually, yes, much better for cooking. Thank you. Thank you, Patty. That'd be great. Because that's a very good question for a lot of you who are raising animals and stuff like that. I mean, Dave, I can imagine the chickens love pumpkin stuff too. Oh, I saw a video. Somebody was like, let your chickens carve for you. And what they did was they took the pumpkin and they kind of drew the picture of like the hole that they wanted carved in there. And what did they put on there? It was something that appeals to the chickens. I don't know if it was honey or whatever it was, but there was something that they put on there, and the chickens would come up and peck at that and peck at it until they pecked the hole that you wanted there for like the eyes, the nose, or the mouth or something. It's like amazing. Ah, the pumpkin soup. um, they have to eat pounds of them to get any effect. Okay. Well, I bet they are happy, Dave. I bet they are happy. Um, so, um, some species of squash share a mild sweetness, although they are not as sweet as typical fruits. Most squash varieties possess an earthy flavor and are prepared as a savory ingredient alongside other vegetables. Apart from zucchini and yellow summer squash, other squash types are not usually consumed raw. However, summer squash is frequently used in baked food items and also as a low carb alternative for noodles, like the spaghetti squash. Pull that out and use it for noodles. You can use like zucchini for zoodles. You put them in a machine and just crank it out and make zoodles out of them. So yeah, those are great low carb alternatives. In brief, both winter and summer squashes are packed with nutrients such as fiber. Yep, we talked about vitamin A. They also are high in vitamin B too, and then C and potassium. So, and of course, both pumpkin and squash grow on vines, so they do that. Oh, that would be cute, Jay. I saw. I don't remember who it was, but there was saw a YouTube video recently that um, this person carved the pumpkin, and it's genius. It really is. Like, why didn't we figure this out years ago? Okay, because when you're carrying it around, you want to, be able to hold on to the stem and everything and just kind of have it all intact and not mess it up and all that kind of stuff. But if you want to have it carved out and have a candle inside, they take the bottom and they carve out, instead of carving out the top, they carved out the bottom and then cleaned out the whole inside and then carved the face in there and stuff. But then they could set that down, like put a candle on a plate or something like that under there and then set the pumpkin right over it. And so the candle's there, but you have this and you can lift it off. And they said that it actually, what is it? And another thing to help it last. I know, isn't that brilliant? Oh, Alicia, I didn't get to see that one, but yeah, I have to go back and look at that. The Another thing is that when you start carving them out after a few days, they start to deteriorate and wrinkle a little bit along the places that you carve out. They said that when you carve it and you're done, wipe some oil, like olive oil or something like that, around the edges, of the hole that you made for the eyes and the nose and stuff like that. And said putting that little bit of oil on there helps to preserve that, so it doesn't start wrinkling up as quickly at all. So strobe lights in there. That'd be like an LSD trip on there. With strobe lights in the lantern. And we'll be like, oh, string Christmas lights in there. Blinky, 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 right? Hey, JMV, how are you doing, Joy? Good evening to you. Okay, so yes, that Patty had mentioned before, the family and genus of the squash and the pumpkin also includes cucumbers and melons too. So because they all grow in vines, they all have stems and all that kind of stuff. Let me see. Sweet or savory. Some of the dishes you can make, some of the sweet dishes are soups, pies, curries, cakes, puddings, stuff. Well, like pumpkin bread, pumpkin spice cake, right? Um, and then some of the summer squash you are usually savory. Um, or said, however, apart from from summer squash varieties, others are usually served as savory, again alongside other veggies. Um, Pumpkins have fewer calories and carbs, but varieties of squash could be higher in fiber and protein. So if you're trying to figure out, it's like, okay, if you're watching every single little calorie and carb and everything, pumpkin's actually a better choice than squash, unless you need fiber and then you want to go with the squash. Okay. Um, Jay, we're gonna have to like monitor you here. Be careful what you're saying. I don't want my channel to get a strike. Your son carved Iwo Jima into a pumpkin. Oh, wow. Wow, that is amazing. Hi, Donna. How are you? What are we saying here? So each pumpkin has about 500 seeds. So Dave, when you said you had to carve 3 pumpkins every year, yeah, that's like that's like 1,500 seeds there. That's a good collection for snacking, actually, very, very much so. Okay, so once they sprout, you put a seed in the ground. Once they sprout, pumpkins take 90 to 120 days. That's quite and that depends on its variety too, of course, but 90 to 120 days to reach maturity. And again, lots of different varieties of pumpkins. The Atlantic giants are the largest overall species. The largest overall species of pumpkin. They can grow as much as 50 pounds a day. Those are those ones that get to like 2,000 pounds, a 2-ton pumpkin. 50 pounds a day. Can you imagine? That's like, it's like you'd have to have a hose on it because if they're 90% water, you just have to keep running the hose on it all the time. If it grows 50 pounds a day, that's huge. Good to feed through. Yes, there you go. Let me see. So actually, pumpkin and other squash blossoms can actually be eaten raw. So the blossoms. But they said it's particularly tasty when lightly battered and fried. So think about that next year when your squash is growing. Pick a few blossoms and lightly batter them and fry them if you have time in the middle of a busy summer. I don't know who does, but hey, it's you can try it out. Did you know that 36% of the people prefer pumpkin pie to any other pie at Thanksgiving? So it's a little over a third of the people want pumpkin, and that would be over pecan, apple, or sweet potato pie. I don't know. We've never made sweet potato pie for Thanksgiving. Give me a hands up or something if you guys do sweet potato pie for Thanksgiving, because I don't even know if I've ever even had it. My mom used to make candied yams, but yep, that's what we usually do too, Dave. We have both pumpkin and apple. That's what's requested, and that's what people want. And I've traditionally been the one that has made the pies and brought them, but we shall see. I'm not sure what I'm doing this year. You love apple pie with vanilla frosting. Ooh, never done that. Butter and raisin tarts. So you have a whole different kind of culinary thing going on there, Alicia. That's cool. Not pie, but baked sweet potatoes with butter and a bit of brown sugar. You make apple cranberry pie now and pumpkin. Ooh, that sounds good. There was one year I tried. This is how how diehard traditional my family is and stuff. But one year it was like, oh, I came across this fantastic recipe for the pumpkin pie, and it was to add maple to it, maple sugar, maple syrup or something. But it was just like to expand the flavor of it and just to try different things. They didn't like it, and they were like, "No, just a regular pumpkin pie, please. That's all we want." It was like it's like I tried something different, but no, it did not fly at all. It was not good. Um, okay, Kira, yeah, I can imagine that would be. We also vary the apple pie, sometimes doing Dutch apple, sweetened with molasses. Ooh, okay. Oh, vanilla ice cream. Okay. I was like, vanilla frosting. Oh, that would be, but yeah, vanilla ice cream. Um, little pumpkin pie with whipped cream. Yep, that's what we usually do, pumpkin pie with, whipped cream, so, um and then apple pie, they just want it straight. I know there's some people have done apple pie with, like, a slice of cheese on it and stuff. Has anybody ever done that? I've only seen that a few times, but, yeah, otherwise, we're pretty just straightforward with the pies that people like in my family, so you'll have to freeze your apples from your tree this weekend, okay. It's quite alright, Alicia. That's quite alright. Um, so the giant pumpkins, back to the giant ones, they are edible, but they don't taste very good. So stick to the small sugar pumpkins for pies and soups. So definitely. Shredded cheddar on apple. Okay. But yeah, I mean, if you ever eat just like fresh apple slices with cheese slices, I mean, it's a really good combo. So I could totally see how that'd be good on a pie. Um, again, it's veering off the straight and narrow of just your apple pie, but and I've made different yeah, like a is it the you said the Dutch crumb type thing, and so it's instead of the a regular crust on the top, double crust type of thing, it would be a crumble topping. I've done that before. They still love they just want the double crust and have that straight out. But every time they rave over the pumpkin pies that I make, and it's like, it's just a recipe from the back of the can, and it's like, but the one thing that I use that's different, they like, I use the, light brown sugar instead of a dark brown sugar, and they seem to like that better. So for whatever reason, I don't know. Stop making you hungry. I know we get talking about food and y'all, you guys are like, you go to Perkins, they only have pumpkin pie seasonally too. I just say it comes from a can. Yeah. Well, exactly. I mean, they have canned pumpkin on the shelves all year round, and you can certainly make pumpkin things, but this is kind of the time of the year we bring it all out. But crumble top French apple. Oh, there you go. Hey, Brenda. Hello. You always made sweet potato pies for things. There's a sweet potato pie person. Okay. Now you need to bake a pie now. Oh, there you go. Maybe Hubbard pie. Oh, they're so sweet. Yeah, um, I don't know. Yeah, I like baking them actually. Um, so again, roasted pumpkin seeds are low in calories, high in protein and iron. So if you need more, let's say you're a vegetarian too. I mean, that's a great thing to get some protein in you. But if you run low on iron, pumpkin seeds are really good to have. Keep those around instead of peanuts or something. Did you know the state of Illinois? So Illinois wins the pumpkin production battle, growing over 12,000 acres of pumpkins each year. Morton, Illinois is considered the pumpkin capital of the world. Morton is home to Libby's, the producer of 85% of the world's canned pumpkin. The world's canned pumpkin. How about that? All right. Record. The current record for the world's heaviest pumpkin is 2,624 pounds. So that's a weight of a 1971 Ford Maverick, if everybody remembers back then what a Maverick looked like. That giant gourd was grown by a Belgian, Matthias Willemans, in 2016. So just 6 years ago, that was the record. So that's the world's record. The United States record, the heaviest pumpkin ever grown in the U.S., weighed 2,528 pounds. And Dave, right in your backyard, it was grown by Steve Geddes of New Hampshire in 2018. So yeah, it says over a ton. Over a ton. So pumpkin tartlets, square pie cut into squares instead of glass. Ooh, that sounds good. Sounds good. South of you is a commercial apple or hardened pumpkin farm. Yep. The key is if we don't even remember it, but if we drove it in 1971, that would be even. That was a couple years before my driver's license, but not too much. That one was weighed in at the fairgrounds in your town. I figured you'd know about that one. Okay. The largest pumpkin pie ever made came from the New Bremen Pumpkin Fest in Ohio. This Guinness World Record holding pie had a diameter of 20 feet across, and weighed 3,699 pounds. Its crust was made from 440 sheets of dough. So that was the biggest pie. Now, the Guinness World Record for most pumpkins carved in an hour was held by Trevor Hunt. It's just me. I can't even picture this. He carved 109 pumpkins in 60 minutes, in 1 hour. It's just 33 seconds per pumpkin to carve it. 33 seconds. Now, I don't know if that's carving it and digging it, scooping it out or anything, or what. I mean, in half a minute to do a whole pumpkin and to keep it up for a whole hour. Oh, yeah, exactly, Dave. I would too. It's like, it's just, get Matt's laser thing going, just, and then you can do it. So, again, oh my goodness. That's the. So, one of the first American pumpkin recipes was included in John Josselin's New England's Rarities Discovered. Like, you can remember that. It was published in the I'm having trouble talking tonight. It was published in the early 1670s. The recipe was for a side dish made from diced, ripe pumpkin that had been cooked down in a pot over the course of a day. Once the pumpkin was cooked, butter and spices were added, much like the recipes for mashed squash or sweet potatoes that we see today. During the 17th century, women challenged themselves in the kitchen by developing unique and tasty new ways to serve pumpkin. Again, today the most popular way is to pumpkin pie, but the earliest sweet pumpkin recipes were made from pumpkin shells that had been scooped out and filled with a ginger spiced milk, then roasted by the fire. So, Ertines. I came up with a new one, didn't I? Yay, that's right. Ertines. Published in the Ertines. Um, Circleville, Ohio is home to the Circleville Pumpkin Festival, which is the largest of its kind. The town was once home to E. Sears Canning, a large cannery that regularly processed pumpkin products. During the fall season, farmers would fill their wagons with pumpkins and head to the cannery to have them processed and canned. In 1903, Circleville Mayor George Haswell started an autumn produce festival, and pumpkins became the centerpiece of the event. So 1903, and they're still going. Um, I know I'm going over, guys, so you guys are amazing to stay here. Thank you. The canning company shut down during the Great Depression, but the festival continues to this day. Now known as the Pumpkin Show, this large event celebrates pumpkins in many forms. There you can expect to find a variety of pumpkin-flavored treats, including pumpkin donuts, burgers, a pumpkin burger, I don't know, taffy, and ice cream. The festival also holds a contest for the largest pumpkin pie, and a Miss Pumpkin Show pageant. She's like, I was Miss Pumpkin this year. I was like, oh, that'd be. It's like, I'm just not sure about the bragging rights on that one, kind of. I was like, yes, I was Miss Pumpkin. It's like, oh, thanks, you guys. This is so great. And if any of you have to go, I totally understand. But Kathyisms. Oh, that's great. Before I forget, though, I want to thank all my mods. You guys are great. Yeah, I appreciate all of you. Thank you for all that you do. Okay, so back to gardening. The pumpkin seeds should be planted between the last week of May and the middle of June. So you don't want to go too early because they need it warm. Okay, and then pick them in October. The Native Americans had it again as the important part of their diets. They added the blossoms to soups. They turned the dried pumpkin pieces into rich flour. Pumpkin flour. There's another source if we can't get wheat flour or something like that. A pumpkin flour. That'd be amazing. And then, of course, they ate the seeds as a tasty snack. They also dried strips of pumpkin and wove them into mats. They used everything. When settlers arrived in America, they saw the pumpkins grown, and so then it became an important part of their diets too. Let me see. And that was it. That's all, guys. I covered everything. So, yep, pumpkin and maple. Yeah, pumpkin maple would definitely go well together. Oh, no. Oh. Big fire in their corn bin. Oh, I'm sure it was probably full from harvest this year, too. Okay, Patty, thank you so much. Yeah. Oh, I appreciate that. Wow. Yeah, you guys. The trick you just learned with Hubbard squash. A hatchet. You baked your last one whole and cut open easily. They will do that. Yes, if you have one small enough and it fits in your electric pressure cooker, like a Instant Pot or something, those work out so well. I do my my butternut squash in that before making soup and everything. Cook it down, and it's like so easy. Just like the skin just falls right off. So very, very good idea. So yes, prayers for Mennonite Farmhouse. Absolutely. So you guys, I gotta go. And thank you so much for being here. And this was fun talking about pumpkins and squash, and plus, gives me an idea of the other things that you guys do. And so, um, yes, you cook a butternut, it's easy to do that, to come apart. So, guys, take care. God bless. Always have hope. And we will see you next week. Have a great week. Good night.